People, put on your yellow glasses. Pull up your favorite chair. It's story time. Pokemon and the Great Adventures. Alexander's Hernitas. Chapter 1. Battling and Evolving. There once was a boy and his name was Alex. He chose a starter Pokemon, and that was Charmander. Charmander loved Alex. Alex and Charmander had their first battle against a wild Snivy. Charmander used Scratch. Snivy used Vine Whip. Charmander used Scratch again. Snivy used Vine Whip again. Charmander used Scratch again. Charmander won. Charmander gained 2 levels. Charmander is now level 7. Alex and Charmander's next battle was against a wild Bulbasaur. Charmander used Scratch. Bulbasaur used Vine Whip. Charmander used Scratch. Bulbasaur used Vine Whip. Charmander used Scratch. Charmander won. Charmander gained 2 levels. Alex and Charmander's next battle was against a wild Chusey. Charmander used Scratch. Chusey used Vine Whip. 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 Charmander used Scratch. Charmander won. Charmander gained 2 levels. Alex and Charmander's next battle was against a wild Fletchling. Charmander used Scratch. Fletchling used Peck. Alex is going to try catching it. Alex throws a Pokeball. 1, 2, 3. Fletchling was caught. Alex was amazed. He had another Pokemon. Alex said he would evolve Charmander, then evolve Fletchling, and keep them at the levels. Therefore, Alex and Charmander's next battle was against a wild Seedot. Charmander used Scratch. Seedot used Top. Charmander used Scratch. Seedot used Top. Charmander used Scratch. Charmander won. Charmander gained 2 levels. Charmander is now on level 13. Alex and Charmander's next battle was against a trainer, and his name is Joe. Alex used Charmander. The other trainer, Joe, used a Caterpie. Charmander used Scratch. Caterpie used String Shot. Charmander learned a new move, and that was Ember. Charmander used Ember. It is super effective. Caterpie fainted. The other trainer still has another Caterpie, so Charmander used Ember. It's super effective. This Caterpie was weaker. Caterpie fainted. Charmander won. Charmander gained 2 levels. Charmander is now on level 15. He is 1 level away from evolving. Alex and Charmander's next battle was against another Snivy. Charmander used Ember. It is super effective. Snivy is barely hanging on. Used Vine Whip. Charmander used Ember again. It is super effective. Charmander won. Charmander gained 2 levels. What? Charmander is evolving. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Congratulations! Charmander is now Charmeleon. Alex loved Charmeleon. He looked really strong. He was very tall. Alex thought he was awesome. Chapter 2. Catching, Battling, and Evolving. Alex said, "Now I am going to evolve Fletchling." So Alex and Fletchling's next battle was against a wild Squirtle. Fletchling used Peck. Squirtle used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Squirtle used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Squirtle used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Fletchling won! Fletchling gained 2 levels. Fletchling is now on level 7. Alex and Fletchling's next battle was against a wild Mudkip. Fletchling used Peck. Mudkip used Mudshot. Fletchling used Peck. Mudkip used Mudshot. Fletchling used Peck. Fletchling won. Fletchling gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchling's next battle was against a wild Totodile. Fletchling used Peck. Totodile used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Totodile used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Totodile used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Fletchling won. Fletchling gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchling's next battle was against a wild Piplup. Fletchling used Peck. Piplup used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Piplup used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Piplup used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Fletchling won. Fletchling gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchling's next battle was against a wild Horsey. Fletchling used Peck. Horsey used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Horsey used Water Gun. Fletchling used Peck. Fletchling won. Fletchling gained 2 levels. Fletchling is now level 15. Fletchling is only 2 levels away from evolving. Alex and Fletchling's next battle was against a wild Whooper. Fletchling used Peck. Whipper used Mudshot. Fletchling used Peck. Whipper used Mudshot. Fletchling used Peck. Whipper used Mudshot. Fletchling used Peck. Fletchling won. Fletchling gained 2 levels. What? Fletchling is evolving! Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Congratulations! Fletchling evolved into Fletchinder. Alex thought Fletchlinder was the beast. Alex thought he was tall. Alex loved Fletchlinder. He was very big. Now, Alex said, I am going to evolve Charmeleon to 7 Charizard. Charmeleon, and Alex's next battle was against a wild Chusillin. Charmeleon used Ember. Chusillin used Vine Whip. 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 Charmeleon used Ember. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Charmeleon is now on level 19. Alex and Charmeleon's next battle was against a wild Dartrix. Charmeleon used Ember. Dartrix used Leaf Edge. 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 Charmeleon used Ember. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Alex and Charmeleon's next battle, Ivysaur. Charmeleon used Ember. Ivysaur used Vine Whip. 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 Charmeleon used Ember. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Alex and Charmeleon's next battle was against a wild Chitzel. Charmeleon used Ember. Chitzel used Vine Whip. 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 Charmeleon used Ember. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Alex and Charmeleon's Zero's next battle was against a wild trainer that had 2 Dartrix. Charmeleon used Ember. Dartrix used Vine Whip. Charmeleon used Ember. Dartrix used Vine Whip. Charmeleon used Ember. Dartrix used Vine Whip. Charmeleon used Ember. Charmeleon won against that one. The trainer used another Dartrix. Charmeleon used Ember. Dartrix used Vine Whip. 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 Charmeleon used Ember. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Alex and Charmeleon's next battle was against a wild Dartrix. Wow, these Dartrix are rare. Charmeleon used Ember. Dartrix used Vine Whip. Charmeleon used Ember. Dartrix used Vine Whip. Charmeleon used Ember. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Alex and Charmeleon's next battle was against a wild Grovyle. Charmeleon used Ember. Grovyle used Leaf Edge. Charmeleon used Ember. Grovyle used Leaf Edge. Charmeleon used Ember. Grovyle used Leaf Edge. Charmeleon used Ember. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Charmeleon is now level 27. Alex and Charmeleon's next battle was against a wild Bayleaf. Charmeleon used Ember. Charmeleon learned a new move that is Dragon Rage. Bayleaf used Vine Whip. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Chapter 3. Catching, Battling, and Evolving. Alex and Charmeleon's next battle was against a wild Servine. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Servine used Vine Whip. 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 Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Alex and Charmeleon's next battle was against a wild Nuzleaf. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Nuzleaf used Top. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Nuzleaf used Top. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Nuzleaf used Top. Charmeleon used Ember. Using Ember again. It worked. Nuzleaf fainted. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Alex and Charmeleon's next battle was against a wild Pikachu. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Alex is going to try and catch Pikachu. Alex throws a Pokeball. 1, 2, 3. Shakes Pikachu is caught. Yes! Alex screams. Yes! So as normal Charmeleon still gained 2 levels. Charmeleon is now level 33. He is 3 levels away from evolving. Alex and Charmander's next battle was against a wild Quadrillion. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Quadrillion used Twirl. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Quadrillion used Twirl. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Quadrillion used Twirl. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 2 levels. Alex and Charmeleon's next battle was against a wild Chespin. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Chespin used Prickles. Charmeleon used Dragon Rage. Charmeleon won. Charmeleon gained 1 level. What? Charmeleon is evolving. Bing bong. Bing bong. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Congratulations, your Charmeleon evolved into Charizard. Then, Alex said he was going to evolve Fletchinder. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Persian. Fletchinder used Peck. Persian used Scratch. Fletchinder used Peck. It's strong now. Persian fainted. Fletchling won his first battle. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Frogadier. Fletchinder used Peck. Frogadier used Water Gun. Fletchinder used Peck. Frogadier used Water Gun. Fletchinder used Peck. Frogadier used Water Gun. Fletchinder learned a new move that is Flame Charge. So, Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Dupiter. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Dupiter used Crunch. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Dupiter used Crunch. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Dupiter used Crunch. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Feebas. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Feebas used Splash. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Feebas used Flash. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Feebas used Splash. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Chapter 4. Battling. Evolving. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Araquanid. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Araquanid used Bubble. 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 Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchling's next battle was against a wild Barboach. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Barboach used Water Gun. 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 Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Bryone. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Bryone used Water Gun. 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 Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Chapter 5. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Corsola. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Corsola used Tackle. 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 Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchlinger's next battle was against a wild Dupiter. Fletchlinger used Flame Charge. Dupiter used Bubble. 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 Fletchlinger used Flame Charge. Fletchlinger won. Fletchlinger gained 2 levels. Alex Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Feebas. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Feebas used Flash. 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 Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Feebas used Splash. 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 Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Finion. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Finion used Water Gun. 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 Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Leafeon. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Leafeon used Tackle. 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 Fletchinder used Leaf Charge. Flame Charge. Leafeon used Tackle. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Leafeon used Tackle. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Lilligant. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Lilligant used Growth. Fletchinder used Flame Guard. Charge. Lilligant used Growth. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Lilligant used Growth. Fletchinder used Flame Guard. Charge. Lilligant used Growth. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Lilligant used Growth. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Lilligant used Growth. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Metapod. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Metapod used Hardened. 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 Oh. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Metapod used Hardened. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Metapod used Hardened. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Metapod used Hardened. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gave 2 levels. Whew. Chapter 6. Battling. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Seedot. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Seedot used Top. 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 Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Flames Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Paris. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Paris used Scratch. 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 Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Metapod. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Metapod used Harden. 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 Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was a wild Trico. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Fletchinder learns a new move named Razor Wind. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinder used Razor Wind. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinder used Flame Charge. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinder used Razor Leaf. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinder used Razor Wind. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinder used Razor Leaf. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinder used Razor Wind. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinder used Razor Wind. Fletchinder won. Fletchinder gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a trainer. The trainer used Metapod. Fletchinder used Razor Leaf. The trainer's Metapod used Harden. Fletchinder's used Razor Leaf. The trainer's Metapod used Harden. Fletchinder's used Razor Leaf. The trainer's Metapod used Harden. The Fletchinder used Razor Wind. The trainer's Metapod used Harden. Fletching used Razor Wind. The trainer's Metapod used Harden. The Fletching used Razor Wind. The trainer's Metapod used Harden. Fletching used Razor Wind. The trainer's Metapod used Harden. Fletching used Razor Wind. The trainer's Metapod used Harden. Fletching used Razor Wind. Fletching won. Fletching gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Petilli. Fletchinger used Razor Leaf. Petilli used Growth. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. 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 Fletchinger won. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Caterpie. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Caterpie used String Shot. 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 Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Fletchinger won. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Chapter 7. Battling. Catching. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Trico. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Trico used Leaf Edge. 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 Fletchinger tried using Flame Charge. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Trico used Leaf Edge. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Fletchinger won. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Paris. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Paris used Scratch. 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 Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Fletchinger won. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Alex's and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Caterpie. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Caterpie used String Shot. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Caterpie used String Shot. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Caterpie used String Shot. Caterpie used String Shot. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. 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 Fletchinger won. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Paris. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Paris used Scratch. 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 Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Fletchinger won. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Metapod. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. 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 Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Fletchinger won. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Metapod. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. 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 Metapod used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. Metapod used Harden. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Fletchinger won. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Whew. Chapter 8. Battling. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Feebas. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Feebas used Flash. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Feebas used Flash. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Feebas used Splash. 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 Fletchinder used Razor Wind. Feedback used Splash. Fletchinder used Razor Wind. Feedback used Splash. Fletchinder used Razor Wind. Fletchling won. Fletchling gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinder's next battle was against a wild Paris. Fletchling used Razor Wind. Paris used Scratch. Fletchling used Razor Wind. Paris used Scratch. Fletchling used Razor Wind. Paris used Scratch. Fletchlinger used Razor Wind. Paris used Scratch. Fletchinger 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 used Razor Wind. Paris used Scratch. Paris used Scratch. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Paris used Scratch. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Paris used Razor Wind. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Paris used Scratch. 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 Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Fletchling won. Fletchling gained 2 levels. Alice and Fletchling's next battle was against a wild Metapod. Used Harden. Fletchling used Razor Wind. Metapod 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 used Harden. Fletchinder used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. 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 Metapod used Harden. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. 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 Fletchinger won! Fletchinger used gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Paris. Fletchinger used Razor Leaf. Paris used Scratch. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. 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 Fletchling won. Fletchling gained 2 levels. Chapter 9. Battling. Maybe the ending. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Metapod. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. 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 Fletchling used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. Fletchlinger used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. Fletchinger 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 used Razor Wing. Fletchinger used Razor Wing. Metapod used Harden. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Metapod used Harden. Fletchinger used Razor Wind. Fletchling won. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletching's next battle was against a wild Paris. Fletchling used Razor Wind. Paris used Scratch. Fletchinger used Razorwind. This is very weak Paris. Fletchinger 1. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Chapter 10. The end of the story. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Metapod. Fletchling used Razorwind. Metapod used Harden. 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 Fletchinger used Razorwind. Fletchinger 1. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. Alex and Fletchinger's next battle was against a wild Paris. Fletchinger used Razorwind. Paris used Scratch. Fletchinger used Razorwind. Paris was extremely weak. Paris fainted. Fletchinger 1. Fletchinger gained 2 levels. This is the end. Alex will continue his story next year. Alex will also have a lot of Pokemon next year. This year, Alex had Pikachu, Charmeleon, and Fletchinger. Alex will evolve all of them next year in his story. Alex and his 3 partners this year are strong and tough. They have never lost a battle. They are some really strong Pokemon. They have never forfeited from a battle. They would always participate. They always never gave up. Alex and his partners had, I think, like 75 battles in this story. They had a lot of fun on that journey. They probably love Alex. Also, Alex loved his Pokemon, with how hard they trained and how hard they worked to move up levels. Also, Alex's Pokemon loved him because of how good of a trainer he is. Alex helped his Pokemon levels up by giving them what they need. He gave them strength. Alex loved his Pokemon because almost all of them are above a basic. All of them were at least above level 15. They are all above level 15. They all love each other. They are also a very strong Pokemon. The end. So I have a few thoughts. The start was pretty cool. The whole story as a whole a bit repetitive, but it's fine. The start had different Pokemon versing each other, and that was really cool. And then as it went on, the Pokemon started becoming the same. There was literally no variation. It was always just Paris, and then Metapod came up a lot in the last half. And also, he never used Pikachu. Pikachu was never used. Never battled with Pikachu. So that was a disappointment. And Fletchinger, I read through all those pages, and they never evolved. That was what I was really looking forward to that, if I'm gonna be honest. And then it didn't happen. And then there was some obvious spelling mistakes and stuff like that. But yeah. So yeah. That's Pokemon and the Great Adventures. Alexander Hernandez, written during the NaNoWriMo Young Writers Program. NaNoWriMo 2017 event. Yeah. Book is dedicated to Mrs. Kirsch. Yeah, I should have proofread it a bit more, buddy. Lovely. Thank you.